As hundreds of people head out on Northland trails, we'll look at the consequences of mixing snowmobiles, alcohol, and speed.
You'll find out how the flu bug could crush a local high school basketball team's tournament hopes. And sharpen up those skates, it's time to get out and glide over the moonlit ice. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Lee.
And I'm Mark Mallory. It's been a dangerous season on area snowmobile trails.
28 snowmobilers have died in Minnesota and Wisconsin, including a man in Sawyer County just last night. Investigators say alcohol was a factor in that crash. 44-year-old John Naffis of Wayzata was riding on a trail near Hayward when his snowmobile hit a tree. Naffis died of head and chest injuries. Meanwhile, a man and child are hospitalized after a snowmobile accident this afternoon on Fish Lake near Duluth. The conditions of the victims are not yet available. We'll keep you in touch tonight on News 6 at 10.
If today is any indicator, Northland trails could be dangerous this weekend.
Dave Jench puts us in touch with a message experts have for everyone who steps onto a sled.
Gilbert native Jeremy Gulbronson says he grew up riding snowmobiles. And having never been in an accident, he considers himself to be living proof that riding snowmobiles doesn't have to be dangerous. But for those less fortunate, thinking twice before riding is a habit that will likely be with them for life, providing they survive. With only a few inches of snow on the ground in most areas, many people are traveling further away from home and into unfamiliar territory to find good snow. That, mixed with powerful new snowmobiles able to go over 100 miles an hour, can be a dangerous combination.
Find out the routes, miles of trails, how many miles from point to point. Are there any areas that are hazardous? And keep your speed down.
Many people don't take the time to think about what could happen, and that can turn the perfect dream vacation into a costly trip to the ER or worse.
A lot of neck injuries, back injuries, broken legs, arms, everything. The high speed and them flying off and hitting trees and the ground causes a lot of injuries.
Speed isn't the only factor in many accidents, however. Alcohol can turn happy hour into an hour of regret.
The two leading factors in snowmobile accidents are speed and alcohol. I think that the alcohol induces extra speed and a false sense of confidence in yourself and the machine.
With the number of snowmobilers and accidents growing fast, there are a few simple rules you may want to follow to make sure your snowmobile trip doesn't turn into a death ride. Always wear a helmet, obey speed limits, never drink and ride, and try to slow down when in an unfamiliar area. Near Evelyn, Dave Jench, News 6.
DNR officials are hoping that this weekend's rough trail conditions will help to keep speed down and the number of snowmobile injuries to a minimum.
A snowmobiler responsible for killing a man in Burnett County 2 years ago will have to visit the victim's grave for the next 3 years. Craig Tetzloff of Woodbury will also have to spend 5 years in prison and do community service work. He had a blood alcohol level of .28 when he drove his sled into Dan Rabine on Yellow Lake. Investigators say he was traveling at a high speed and didn't have time to react because he was drunk. In the Crime Watch tonight, arrest in 2 Duluth armed robberies. 3 people are in custody for robberies at the Whole Foods Co-op and D Independent Cleaners. A 20-year-old man, a 17-year-old, and an 18-year-old will be charged on Monday. The Gang Strike Task Force took part in the investigation. Police say other people may be involved and are threatening witnesses. Now, if you have any information that could help investigators, you should call the Duluth Police.
Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura has the green light to pack heat in the Capitol. The state public safety commissioner has authorized Ventura to carry a handgun in any state building. Ventura, pictured here at home with his gun collection, considers the permit an insurance policy. His spokesperson says Ventura doesn't intend to use the privilege. Carrying a concealed weapon in the Capitol or other state buildings without authorization carries a fine of up to $10,000, up to 5 years in prison, or both. A flu outbreak in one local school has left students with more at stake than just missed classes.
The Carleton High School varsity basketball team has a 14-1 record on the court, but off the court, they're battling the flu.
Green Winter reports on what some students are doing to stay healthy and keep championship hopes alive.
You're looking at what's left of the Carleton High School varsity basketball team. A flu outbreak has reduced their team of 12 players to 2. With state tournaments right around the corner, they say all they can do is take things one hoop at a time.
I was really shocked. I couldn't believe all our starters and our 6 and 7 men all got sick at once. So I guess, and not having practice, Devaney's one who, even if it's snowing 13 feet, will have practice. And 3 days of missed practice is a real shock.
The team practiced earlier this week, but one by one the flu knocked players out of practice and games. But athletic director Dennis Sauter says the timing could have been worse.
I don't know. I think it's better now than in the playoffs. If we're going to come down with the flu, this is as good a time as any. And if you're going to have the flu, they all went together.
The team and almost half of the upperclassmen here. The flu outbreak has left many of the students here, including the basketball team, out of commission. But it hasn't left them down and out. Players say they've been through worse scenarios, and each time they've come back strong. In the meantime, the 2 other players say they'll continue to practice and stay healthy.
Washing my hands a lot, and I had a cold, but it's pretty much going away now, so I'm getting better. And I'm just avoiding people with colds and not drinking out of their water bottles at practice and stuff.
Not a bad idea. Health workers say unlike the common cold, which can cause aches and fevers, the flu can put you flat on your back with those symptoms for days. So these health tips shouldn't be taken lightly.
If you have some type of pre-existing medical condition, you get these influenza, it could be enough to put you in the hospital or lead to death. In influenza outbreaks, we do see an increase in the number of deaths, mainly due to various forms of pneumonia.
This worst-case scenario typically affects the very young or very old, but students here say they'll still play it safe and hope no one else falls victim to the flu. In Carleton, Corrine Winter, News 6.
Flu season usually starts around November and winds down the end of January.
Now, health workers say they're surprised by the timing of the outbreak since they've seen a relatively slow flu season. Well, if you're starting to suffer from a case of cabin fever, there are plenty of activities this weekend to get you out enjoying the Northland winter.
How about ice skating by moonlight? Kim Kaiser joins us from Hillside Sport Court to show us what's going on. Kim.
Hey, Mark and Michelle. Well, I'm at the skating rink, but I haven't seen too many skaters. What we've got right now are a family of sledders. They've just been having a great time swooping down here over the hill, sliding out across the rink. Many of the city rinks are open late tonight for the moonlight skating night. What we need right now are just, well, some skaters and the moon. That's set to come out later tonight as well. Now there's plenty of area out here for skaters to come down with family and friends, show off some of their new moves. And, you know, if you get a little cold, there'll be some hot chocolate for you to warm up your insides too. The Moonlit Skating Night kicks off a weekend full of winter activities in the area. At the Proctor Winter Carnival, you can play softball in the snow tomorrow morning at 9. There's also an ugly truck show-off at noon. Those are both at the Regional Recreation Center. And if you want to go to 2 Harbors tomorrow morning, you can watch snowshoe races and bonspiel at the Curling Club. Now, George says that we should be having a great weekend for some good weather, so it's a perfect time to come out and enjoy some of these winter activities. So right now, it feels great out here right now. Mark and Michelle, back to you.
Kim, what's the ice conditions like and how long will the skating last tonight?
Well, Michelle, right now it is pretty slippery. Actually, I don't have my skates on right now, so I've got to stand on some special mats so I don't pile it up as I'm out here talking to you. So it's pretty slippery, ready for some good skiing or for some good skating. And this will be open. They're saying they're going to open up a little bit later tonight till about 10:30 or 11. And if you're a real night owl, you can skate all the way till midnight. That's at the Good Fellowship Skating Rink. That's on 88th Avenue West, or at Fond du Lac. That's at 131st Avenue West. Mark and Michelle?
I like that. Floor mats. Why didn't I think of that?
All right, thanks, Kim. Kim Kaiser reporting live from Duluth. And when we come back, Tom will join us from the middle of a hockey doubleheader.
And in Evelyn, students are facing off in a competition of the mind. Their story is coming up in the Kids Corner.
And our kid at heart, George, is outside playing.
Keeping you in touch with today's news with Michelle Lee, Mark Mallory, meteorologist George Kessler, and Tom Hansen Sports. You're watching News 6 at 6.
We've been the Northland's warmest friend for over 50 years. For fuel oil or propane, people have counted on Como. Maybe we try a little harder because
We're a locally owned hometown company. Every day, every hour, we're here to help. We make your life easier with 24-hour service, top-notch furnace repair, and budget payment plans. Give Como a call. We'd like to be your warmest friend, too.
This isn't just a sale.
It's history in the making.
The going out of business sale.
Going on now at Montgomery Ward.
All major appliances and electronics are now 10% off.
Save 20 to 40% off all furniture and domestics.
20 to 50% off apparel for the whole family.
And just listen to this.
All fine jewelry is now 25 to 50% off.
And for 3 days only,
this Saturday through Monday,
take an extra 15% off already reduced prices.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
The going out of business sale.
Only at your local Montgomery Ward.
From NBC Motion Pictures.
She's pregnant.
A daughter who grew up too quickly. A son who followed in his father's footsteps.
I'm going to Vietnam.
Everything's going to be fine.
And a brother who saw a wrong.
I can't justify fighting an immoral war.
And tried to make it right.
I truly believe he's going to change the world.
The decade that changed the lives of this family and the lives of us all. The 60s, the movie event of a generation. NBC Sunday, 9, 8 Central. From NBC Motion Pictures.
She's pregnant.
A daughter who grew up too quickly. A son who followed in his father's footsteps.
I'm going to Vietnam.
Everything's going to be fine.
And a brother who saw a wrong.
I can't justify fighting an immoral war.
And tried to make it right.
I truly believe he's going to change the world.
The decade that changed the lives of this family and the lives of us all. The 60s, the movie event of a generation. NBC Sunday, 9, 8 Central.
George Kessler's weather is certified by the American Meteorological Society.
A pleasant evening out there. I mean, considering the time of year, 28 degrees is just about perfect, although winds have turned into the northwest at 5, and that's an indication that some colder air is on its way in. But I have a feeling that even if you're out skating at midnight, temperatures will still be pretty pleasant. Pressure's begun to rise to 9.81. Humidity is 70%. Across the region, there's the leading edge of that cold air. It was so funny because yesterday at this time, it was cold. I mean, we're talking about temperatures 8, 9 degrees. And today, up 20 degrees, 28, 31 down in Hayward, 34 over in Ironwood. But already on the horizon, you see that 10 in Grand Forks, 18 in Devil's Lake. That cold air will be in, but just as quickly as it gets here, boom, it's gone on Sunday once again. If you have some outdoor plans, an amazingly uniform layer of snow across the region. We go from 14 inches of snow in Hoveland for Mary and Joseph Ruth on up to Dave Angier in the Cook and Gein area. Also 14 inches on the ground. And as you go down to the south, there are 1 or 2 patches where the snow is somewhat less. We have 7 inches in the Palisade area around Long Lake for the Schwampinator, 12 inches for the Mystery Weather Watcher in Sawyer. Same story around the Duluth and Superior area. Then when you get over into northwestern Wisconsin, the influence of Lake Superior is such that you have a little bit more, 16, 18, and even as much as 19 inches of snow on the ground in the Sharon Losey's backyard right there in Bayfield. So go outside and enjoy. It's going to be a good weekend. There's enough snow on the trails. It's not perfect conditions. I have a feeling that the snowmobilers and the cross-country skiers would probably like to see 6, 8, maybe even a foot more snow to get those trails in perfect shape. But overall, it's going to be a good weekend. Let's put the temperatures into motion. 9 degrees yesterday at this time. Watch how quickly that warm air comes racing in. That's atypical. Our part of the universe, usually you get the cold air and it will take you a good week to get it out of here. This time around, it takes about a day. Boom, just gets the boost off to the east. Meanwhile, to our south and to our west, it has been downright balmy. Look at that, 70 degrees in Oklahoma City. It's the first week of February. This is what we have going on. A series of I won't call them storms, I'll call them stormlets coming on in from the Pacific. They last for about 18 hours, give us a few clouds, 1 or 2 snow flurries, which is what we saw across the region. And just as quickly as they're here, they are gone. They pull off to the east. Behind them, a little bit of cool air. And this pattern is going to repeat itself throughout the weekend. We could see a few clouds late on Sunday, then another snow shower. But this pattern isn't going to break down for a while. But when it breaks, I think there's some very cold air which will come and visit us, but it's most likely going to take about a week to 10 days to get down out of Alaska, where current temperatures in the central portion of the state, 50 below zero. Satellite picture in motion. There goes our storm du jour, now in Michigan. They are seeing some heavier snows around Traverse City on down toward Alpena, but it's all, of course, well away from our region. Looking upstream where our weather is generally directed from, Dakota's looking great. Same story in Montana. A few clouds, but they're going to wait until Sunday to arrive. Snow tracker, there it is. Snow in the north, mix in the south, then rain down through Chicago and Springfield, but smooth sailing for about 1,000 miles off to our west. Put the maps into motion on Saturday. The breezes out of the north will be somewhat cool, so if you do have those outdoor plans, might want to bring along the hat and the thicker jacket. But by Sunday, the sunshine will hang tough for the first part of the day, but the next storm system will bring in clouds by afternoon. There's forecast for the overnight hours. Clearing and cooler. We will be in the single digits by morning, but if you have evening plans, the cool down will take some time, so it's not going to be by any stretch bitter. Then for your Saturday, chilly sunshine, high temperatures just about where they should be for this time of year, which would be in the neighborhood of 20 degrees. Gazing ahead to Sunday, look at the warm-up. We pick up a quick 10 degrees, winds out of the south. That's what's propelling the warm air. And gazing at the 5-day, on again, off again, warm spells and cooler snaps. By the time we get to Wednesday, there's some question marks. We'll have to wait and see. Wednesday could be an interesting day, but we have a week to sort that out.
Okay. Thank you, George.
You're welcome.
In the Kids Corner, students from northern Minnesota squared off today in the Life Smarts competition.
Our Barbara Riles hosted the trivia test in Eveleth this morning. The competition is sponsored by the Attorney General's Office. High school students use speed and skill to answer questions on health, safety, and technology.
That is correct.
Studies in the early 90s or late 80s found that students did not have a lot of background in consumer economics. So this is just a good way and a fun occasion to learn more about what they need to know when they get out into the real world.
And the best part, the winning team goes to the state competition in the Twin Cities next month.
And we wish them the best now, don't we?
We sure do.
Okay. Well, tonight, a college hockey doubleheader is underway at Westman Arena in Superior.
Both the men's and women's Yellow Jackets teams are playing. Tom Hansen is right in the middle of the action. Tom.
Mark and Michelle, right now, there's a break in the middle of the action, a doubleheader game. The women's game just wrapped up moments ago. UWS wins it by a final score of 12-1. The men's game will be starting at 7 o'clock tonight against Bemidji State. These two have been rivals for years, but the series might be coming to an end because Bemidji State is going to Division I next year. They're Division I independent right now. Well, of all the sports, it's been a big day in sports coming up right after this.
The 1999 official Chevrolet Bear Grease liquidation at the Sanju 2 Harbor Superstore is back. 24 new Chevrolets. Sanju slides to sell at invoice with savings up to $4,800. New 99 Chevy extended cab pickups, $269 a month. New Chevy Suburban 4-doors, $369 a month. New Blazers, $259 a month. Tahoes, $329 a month. All 4x4s in zero down sign and drive delivers. Huge Bear Grease savings only at the Sanju 2 Harbor Superstore.
Vehicle 111, progress report on Elm.
Yeah, we got him. He's okay, but he's hungry.
How hungry?
Hasn't eaten in 6 days. He was stuck on his roof.
Begin starvation treatment.
Copy, we're on it.
Timber Lodge Steakhouse. Hope you're hungry.
You are the one who thought the word that you didn't say. So the fight didn't start. So the knife didn't cut. So the gun didn't shoot. So the man didn't die. So the hate didn't grow. So the night was calm and the peace was kept. You're the one who can make the peace.
Courage Duluth invites you to enter the Spirit of Gitche-Gumee cross-country ski race Saturday, February 20th at Spirit Mountain. Enjoy the beautiful view of Lake Superior as you help Courage Duluth raise money for needed adaptive sports equipment for program participants in the area. Registration is open to adults and children and to all skill levels from competitive to recreational. For more information, call Courage Duluth. The Spirit of Gitche-Gumee cross-country ski race Saturday, February 20th at Spirit Mountain. Brought to you by News 6 and these fine sponsors.
And now, sports with Tom Hansen.
Over the years, series, UWS and Bemidji State have had some intense battles, not only here at Bemidji State, or not only here at Westman Arena, but also at Bemidji State at John Glass Fieldhouse. That appears to be over as Bemidji State is a Division I independent now. There'll be a full-fledged Division I next year, so this series with UWS may be coming to an end. Doubleheader day today, UWS women taking on Bemidji State earlier this afternoon. Let's go to the first period highlights in this game. Women's team started, UWS swept the series back in December at Bemidji. Fiona McLeod scores in traffic for UWS to give them the early 1-0 lead in the first period. Who said women's hockey is not very physical? Look at that little pushing and shoving in the corner between the two teams. Of course, penalties assessed on that play. Later in the first period, Monel Schroeder for the Jackets. Nice move inside in the slot. Beats the goaltender for Bemidji State. 2-0 UWS. The Jackets go on to cruise to a 12-1 win, your final score. The men's game will start tonight at 7 o'clock. UWS now 12-2 on the year. The UMD hockey team is in Alaska to face the Seawolves after tying top-ranked North Dakota last Saturday. The last-place Dogs know they can play with just about anybody.
I think the way the team's playing, I think our confidence is, even though we only took 1 point out of 4 against North Dakota, our confidence is a little bit higher that we played with the #1 team in the country. And, don't sell Anchorage short. They're a pretty good team, and they put 40 shots on net against St. Cloud last Saturday. So they're playing well, and it's a tough task for us.
Bump us up. I mean, these next 4 or 5 series, our last series are huge. We got to take one at a time and all. But these 4 points will. Hopefully we can get them and get a couple and do something with them.
Tony Gasparini will be starting for Brant Nicklin. Gaspo 0-2-1 overall in a Bulldog career. Again, game time tonight, a late one, 10:35. Girls high school hockey playoffs continue tonight as well. Duluth hosting Brainerd as we speak at Pioneer Hall. Grand Rapids will face Hibbing tonight also in girls high school hockey. NFL Pro Bowl Sunday, a record 10 Minnesota Vikings will be in Hawaii to take part in that game. 3 for the Packers. And, of course, Chris Carter and Randy Moss will be part of the Vikings duo that'll be there. Carter says his counterpoint, Randy Moss, he knew he'd be good and he knew he'd be making contributions this year.
Certainly amazed. I knew that he would make a tremendous impact in the NFL. Not only given his talent, but given the system that he's in and the other players that are around him. I think that has a lot to do with his great season. He would have been a phenomenal player, but he would not have been as good a receiver, say, if he was in New Orleans. With some of the offensive personnel they have compared to the offensive personnel we have and the system that we have in place.
It's great just to have him with his character that he has, and he's a very talented player, but we don't just give credit to Randy because the other guys make up so much of our offense.
Baseball fans, the Metrodome, the place to be this weekend. Twins Fest 99 kicks off tomorrow, where players, coaches, front office personnel will meet the fans and sign autographs. Kirby Puckett among them. Tickets are available at the gate. Now, a Twins caravan coming to Duluth on Monday at the Holiday Center. Among those, Ron Coomer and former Twins Tony Oliva and Harmon Killebrew. And a dinner will be held that night on Monday night, open to the public. The NBA season starts tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Bucks will open tomorrow against Charlotte. Randy Shaver talked with Kevin Garnett before the game to get his outlook about the season.
I'm just happy that we're back in action. My expectations for this team is probably greater than what probably the fans. In another sense, fans should just expect that we come out and leave it out there on the floor every night. Every night it's not going to go in. Every night we're not going to have good games, but we have fun when we play together and we leave it out there. And we got some of the greatest fans in the world, so they're pretty good at picking us up when we're having bad games.
This Nugget team is different than last year. They lost 71 games, but they have revamped this team, and they're going to be tough tonight.
We're not taking these guys for granted. They have definitely a new nucleus, and they have probably one of the biggest turnarounds as far as having players and talent on their team. So, we're not looking at it like a walkover. We definitely know we have to come in here like every night and come to play, and that's what we're going to do.
We'll have highlights of the Timberwolves game, of course, tonight on News 6 at 10. Also highlights of the UWS men's hockey game against Bemidji State. So, all in all, UWS looking for the sweep tonight. They won earlier tonight, 12-1 here at Westman Arena. Mark, Michelle, back to you.
Tom, before you go, we want to know who your special guests are. It appears to be Pee Wee players.
Pee Wee players? Well, this one is a 4-year-old, Kelsey, and Anna, why don't you come over here? Anna, of course, plays Anna Grenier from Duluth, Denfeld, right?
Yes.
So here's a couple of the spectators here ready for the second game tonight at 7 o'clock. Kelsey's here, and one more. Here's Nikki. There's the 2-year-old, too. So they're ready for action here. Girls hockey tonight, and men's hockey will be later tonight at 7 o'clock. Mark, Michelle?
Just like Tom.
Family affair.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right. Thanks
All
a lot. We're going to be right back. Don't go away.
Stay with us. It's been a busy month for Governor Jesse Ventura. Coming up tonight on News 6 at 10, we'll take a look back at the governor's first 30 days in office. What has he done right? What has he done wrong? And what will he do for the Northland? We'll have an exclusive interview with the governor himself, plus talk to his fellow lawmakers about the former wrestler's transition to the state's highest office. Don't miss our exclusive report on News 6 at 10.
Strap yourselves in for the big one. It's the U.S. Motorsports Monster Truck Challenge. Here 8 o'clock tonight and tomorrow night only at the deck. Three-time national champion Tours, Awesome Kong, and more battle WWF Monster Truck Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Come see my monster truck whip everybody's.
You'll also see stuntman Doug the Locust, the Wheelie King, plus the awesome dwarf cars, flat tracks, and more. Get your tickets now. The ground's already shaking.
Yahoo? Get your Yahoo with Online 6 at www.kbjr.com.
News 6 and the Minnesota State Lottery are giving you a chance to escape the winter chill with the Fun in the Sun Caribbean Cruise Contest, sponsored by North Star Ford. You could be one of 2 lucky winners of an all-expense-paid cruise for 2. To register, watch meteorologist George Kessler on News 6 at 10, Monday through Friday. George will give a Caribbean location and temperature. Write it down and drop it off at North Star Ford or mail it to News 6. You could be the lucky winner of the Fun in the Sun Caribbean Cruise Contest, sponsored by North Star Ford.
More than 90% of Minnesotans support organ donation. So why do patients die waiting for transplants? You'll find out tonight on News 6 at 10. Plus, we'll have details of a plan to help save lives.
And Jesse Ventura has completed his first month as Minnesota's governor. What do local lawmakers think of his job so far? We'll put you in touch. And George will put us in touch with one final look at the weather.
It's going to be a cooperative weekend. A fun and cooperative weekend. I think folks should go outside, take advantage of the balmy weather we've been seeing. Tonight, balmy could be a stretch. Temperatures in the single digits most places. Winds out of the northwest picking up a little bit after midnight. Then on your Saturday, chilly sunshine. I think that's a polite way of putting it, but the temperatures will be seasonal, upper teens to lower 20s. Some wind chill, but not much, and the sunshine will help. And then on Sunday, more nice weather.
Okay, thanks, George.
Yep. And thank you for watching News 6 at 6.
We hope to see you again for News 6 at 10.
We'll see you then.
Good night.
Men's clothing provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men in the heart of downtown Duluth. Closed captioning provided by Schneiderman's.